You're listening to SaskScapes, a podcast featuring the stories of arts, culture, and heritage in Saskatchewan. At the age of 16, in his parents' backyard, Kellen Thackeray, his pals, and his band put on a show for about 50 of his Kindersley friends. That was 5 years ago. Now get this, when a lot of teenagers are barricaded in their rooms playing video games, Kellen had no idea what his little backyard gig would turn out to be. I'm Kevin Power, and to you I say, all hail the cheese! Grilledcheesapolooza just celebrated its 5th year in Kindersley, Saskatchewan, and that backyard happening has now become a major event, attracting bands and performers from across Canada. Close to 2,000 enthusiastic music lovers transform an outdoor baseball diamond into one rockin' good time. I have such admiration for Kellen and his pals and what they've created at such a young age that I had to be there. During the first half of this podcast, Kellen joins me for a one-on-one in Saskatoon 2 weeks before the festival. Then we fast forward through time and I brave the summer mosquitoes to hang around for a couple of days and capture the essence of this fun-filled weekend. Mom and Dad are still making grilled cheeses, along with some supportive friends and family. Over 1,000 sandwiches, to be precise. In the second half of the podcast, I'm joined by Michaela Anderson, one of the performers, who spent most of her formative years in Kindersley and speaks frankly and openly about her creativity. Grilledcheesapolooza will rise again for a 6th season and beyond. So tell me, how could you possibly turn down a chance to attend a festival with a name like Grilledcheesapolooza? Kellen Thackeray, I must begin this podcast by saying I have to salute you and say, all hail the cheese.
Oh, perfect.
And so my first question would be to you, how do you prefer your grilled cheese?
How do I prefer my grilled cheese? I like the classic... just the classic white bread, Kraft single, a margarine, and a little bit of garlic powder.
Okay, so does it have to be a Kraft single? I mean...
I've tried, and that's actually... I just like it, yeah.
You can't do like a good old-aged cheddar? You
could, but...
Pseudo cheese.
No, yeah, we want the fake stuff. Yeah,
fake cheese. Right, okay. So then everybody's going, why are they talking about grilled cheese? We're talking about grilled cheese, of course, because you are the founder of the now famous Grilledcheesapolooza Music Festival, which happens in Kindersley, Saskatchewan on a yearly basis.
Yes, it does. Yeah, this is our 5th year.
Right, and it's coming up very soon. So what I love about this story is how it started. You're not yet even, I dare say, 25.
Nope. 21.
Okay, and so how does, 5 years ago, so if we go back 5 years, you're how old?
16.
16, and you start this music festival in your backyard, literally.
Yeah, like literally in my parents' backyard, yeah. Because
Okay.
I was still living at home, 16 years old, in high school still.
Okay, so what was going on in your mind where you thought, I need to start a festival?
Well, it wasn't so much... It kind of just started itself, really. Me and some friends, we played in a band, and we were trying to book shows in Saskatoon, and we finally did get a show booked, and we'd actually never played in front of anybody ever before, other than in our jam space, in front of our friends. So we decided that we were going to play a show in Kindersley, and we talked about renting a venue. We're all young. We're like, hey, how much does it cost? Should we do this? And my parents were like, why don't you just play in our backyard? We have a little patio area with like maybe a 1-foot little riser in the backyard, and my parents openly were like, hey, let's do this. And
Tell me the name of that band. I can't pronounce it.
Quetzalcoatl.
Right.
So Quetzalcoatl was, like a metal band, and me and my friends, and
a great Scrabble word.
And a great, many points. Yeah, get the triple letter there, and it'll be good.
Right. How did you tell me about where that name came from?
The Quetzalcoatl is the flying serpent god. It's like a Mayan god, I guess, and it's a serpent, and he has feathers and wings, and he flies around, and basically, back in the day, they used to paint all their sacrifices like blue from head to toe, and they would give their sacrifices to Quetzalcoatl, and he would come down and eat the blue sacrificed people. And
wow,
it was just a really interesting story. So and it's pretty metal, So so we thought it was interesting.
Were you all in blue or
no? Well, we always talked about dressing up and painting ourselves, but we were never. Similar.
Okay. All right, so Quetzalcoatl starts in your backyard.
Yeah, so we play. Our first show was Grilled Cheese 1, and
wait a second. How do you come up with Grilled Cheesapolooza?
Yeah,
right.
That's a story in its own. Actually, it's it was combined. Me and my friend Sean Hilliker, our drummer at the time, and myself. We used to drive around because we used to work together. So we drive around lots and just not much to do in a small town. Drive around, talk, maybe smoke cigarettes. And my mom, she's a big artsy person, and I actually do believe it was my mother who actually was the one who deemed the first name Grilled Cheesapolooza. It was
because she thought we'll make grilled cheeses.
Well, it spawned from me and Sean talking about it, and I think it was me and Sean came up with the initial name, and my mom was the one who was like, "Yeah, we'll just fire up the barbecue and we'll give grilled cheese sandwiches away, and it'll be hilarious." And we were all thought it was the funniest thing ever, right?
That's so funny. It could have easily been smoked meat on rye.
Well, it actually we're actually really, really lucky because like people who try and name their festival, let's say maybe the Fringe or any other of these things, we're lucky because when somebody makes a grilled cheese sandwich, there's an instant connection in their head if they know about us. So it's like we don't even, we're already embedded within like the grilled cheese sandwich is already such a cultural thing. Everybody loves a grilled cheese sandwich. Yeah, exactly. So
feel good.
Yeah, so we feel it's just really lucky, and also probably a pretty good marketing move just to kind of clamp onto something that's already in everyone's minds,
It's all about marketing. So how many people showed up for
our first year?
Grilled Cheese 1.
First year we probably had like 35 to 50 people, all of our friends,
That's respectable.
Yeah, for sure, for our first show ever in front of people. So, and it was just the one band. And no T-shirts or anything yet.
And was the cool factor upped in school because of
like my cool factor? Like I wasn't the coolest kid. Like I was homeschooled from grade 5 to grade 10, and then when I was 16, so that was probably my first year back in high school.
Right.
I wasn't super popular, but I also you're a kid playing in a metal band, and it's rural Saskatchewan, right? So so the popular factor isn't really that doesn't up it at all.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, year number 1 happens, and it felt like a success.
Yeah, it was great. Well, because all we were looking for was just to play in front of some friends. Really, that's it, and then get ready, practice for our show in Saskatoon.
And did you sell tickets, or was it a free event?
Totally free. Everybody just came to our backyard.
Yeah, mom footed the bill for the grilled cheese.
Mom footed the bill, yeah. And then all we did was go around to all of our neighbors and say, "Hey, we're having some live music. Do you guys mind?
Yeah.
We're playing until this time. Hopefully we don't bother you." And it was like a BYOB thing, so people were allowed to drink, of age people, obviously. Anybody underage wasn't. Yeah.
Okay, so then what ends up happening after year number 1 that made you
that we decide to go back?
Yeah.
So year number 2 is also in my backyard, and I guess we played maybe three shows in the city in between.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, should we just do it again? Like me and Sean and Evan, my bass player, and Curtis was our guitar player, and we're all best friends, hang out all the time, and we were just like, let's do it again. So we were like Grilled Cheese 2. So we were like, hey, should we make shirts? So we were like, hey, let's make some shirts. So we designed a shirt, designed posters, and did a little more advertising. Same thing in the backyard. BYOB people, they can come buy shirts now. We got like some spray paint artists to make a big out of plywood, 3 8-foot pieces of plywood, paint a big Quetzalcoatl, a big feathered serpent across this thing, and kind of have it like a little more, a little more cool, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and we had maybe for attendance, we probably had probably about almost 100 people, maybe like 80 people.
And
like,
again, just your band, just the
no,
one band?
no. We had another 2 bands. We had a cover band which shared some of our same members.
Okay.
And they played, some older tunes like some Neil Young or Fleetwood Mac or whatever.
Okay.
And they were called the Dirty Sauce, which was pretty cool, pretty funny name. And a band called Vice Grip. They were a cover band as well, and they also shared some members. And they played Tool covers,
right?
The band Tool, yeah.
Okay,
so it was just us 3, and that was on the shirts.
So population of the festival kind of doubled-ish.
Yeah, about doubled.
Yeah, right. Okay, and then here we are going into year number 5.
Yes, now we are.
Right. So was it all fairly seamless? I mean, did it just the momentum just kept going?
Like from
or did
the
you
population, you mean?
Between year number 2 and year number 5, was there a point where you thought, nah, let's pack it in. This is too much?
I've thought about packing it in before, just for the simple fact of just the amount of work and the stresses that go along with the coordinating a festival of the size and things. But I've never, at the end of every year, it's always like, man, I never want to do that again. But you can't not do it. You have to.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Last year number 4.
4, yeah.
How many did you have show up?
Year number 4, we had between 750 and 1,000 people.
Okay, so that's crazy
compared to the 100.
Compared to the 100 from your backyard. Yeah. That's gotta feel fantastic.
Yeah, it was really cool because like last year was the first year that we started to see people that I didn't know who they were coming, because like obviously the people in my backyard and things, they were like friends, family, maybe some parents of maybe some of our musicians or whatever. Yeah. And you'd seen everybody before. And then the third year, kind of the same thing, like lots of people you knew. And now 4th and 5th, it's like, hey, who are you here to see? Oh, I'm here to see this band. It's like, oh, where are you from? It's like, I'm from PA, I'm from Calgary, I'm from the East Coast, I'm from wherever. And it's just like,
the bands or the people coming?
The people coming. Like people that I've never heard of, and I don't know how they know about it, and they don't know who I am, but they know about the festival. And it's just kind of like, we're just thinking, since it's so quirky and stuff, we really get lucky with word of mouth, I think, is a big thing for us.
And you're not it's not just your band now. I mean, you're featuring how many bands this year?
We have 20 bands this year.
And you're in the big time now. You're dealing with band managers and negotiating contracts and things like that?
Yep. Yeah, we created all of our own contracts, and we've kind of started to, like this year I feel we're pretty comfortable. We're kind of creating the building blocks. So for next year, we're going to just put all of our procedures from this year into effect again, and hopefully things fall into place, with bookings. We learned a lot about booking bands this year. It's not an easy thing to just, like I said, there's no really handbook to like how to deal with people, and you don't know if someone's going to try and screw you around or whatever. So you just kind of take it as it comes and just use your common sense and just hope that you're doing the right thing. Obviously, ask people in the industry that if they have any advice for you for maybe getting sponsors or booking bands on tours and things, and how to cater to their needs when they're here, and how much to pay them. Like in negotiations, to begin with, it was like, how do you know exactly, if a band asks you for X amount of dollars, is that a fair price? And you kind of got to work it out. How many people are they going to bring? What's their name? How big is their name in Canada or in Saskatchewan? Do people even like this band? Is it worth it? Right. Yeah. Booking was probably a really big learning experience this year. Probably the biggest. Cause yeah.
Hey, it's Kevin. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Just a quick reminder that the SaskScapes podcast is available for free on your favorite podcast app, or you can stream it from your browser. Check out the show notes for the link. On the SaskScapes homepage, you'll notice something new under the logo called SaskScapes Plus. You can't miss it. There's a big button saying support with a heart icon next to it. I'd love it if you could click on that button and help keep this podcast series going. When SaskScapes launched in May 2014, it was the first podcast in the province celebrating arts, culture, and heritage. In fact, you'd have been pretty hard-pressed to find any Saskatchewan podcasts. So I'd like to think that we paved the way. It's been because of your support that this podcast is now in its 9th year. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
And do you still kind of have a mandate to feature a number of local bands?
Absolutely,
as well?
Yeah, it's about 50-50.
Right.
Like on the Friday, we have 6 bands playing, and all but maybe 2 are from Kindersley. All the members are from Kindersley.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Saturday we have another 3 or 4, all from Kindersley, and or maybe just like within 50 kilometers around in some surrounding towns, maybe. But.
Right. So they must be thrilled to have the opportunity to perform in a festival.
Absolutely.
So
well, yeah, it's really cool for me because I've kind of been with it this whole time, so I kind of lose perspective on maybe how big it is.
Right.
And the thing I realize is some of these bands who have never played on maybe not even a festival stage, but never played in front of people, even in a bar stage or something.
Yeah.
And we give them a stage that's the same size as the Trooper show that we did a few weeks ago. It's very standard large festival stage. It's as big as you would want to get. So the biggest stage with the biggest PA that some of these kids have ever seen before. So it's just like to see their looks, like the looks in their eyes when they get on there and they're like get intimidated. I'm like, man, just play as if you're in your basement, it's like, it's going to be fine.
Right.
And friends and family out there who support. And
I should say we're sitting here in Barred Dog Productions in Saskatoon, who you work for. And this is a sound and lighting company for major shows. So obviously you're tapped into some fairly significant sound equipment. Are you doing the sound for the festival yourself?
Personally, like I won't be mixing, but just since I'll be coordinating, but I'll be there. I'll be taking the stage manager kind of production manager role, making sure that the stage is set up correctly and all the bands are there on time, kind of making sure that everybody is happy.
And is Quetzalcoatl still performing?
No, you're not actually. We played for the first 3 years, and then booking bands and playing. It just seemed a little interesting because we were booking bands being about the same size as us or bigger. And it was kind of weird since we were we headlined every year because it was our thing. And then it felt kind of interesting to maybe keep headlining and booking bands maybe as big as we were, so we pulled ourselves off the bill just because it was like, people probably don't want to see our same stuff over and over and over again. And it just felt better because having to coordinate for 10, 12 hours during the day and then play a set was it was just stressful.
Is there a little Quetzalcoatl god insignia that exists somewhere?
Just in our heads,
in the promotion, right. The town of Kindersley must just be in love with you for this must put them on the map.
Kind of. Like it wasn't our intention to put it on the map at all.
No,
but
sometimes that's the best way to happen.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that they're really impressed with us since we are also young and we are, we're all quite driven and we do have quite a following. Obviously, like people have we've gained a lot of interest in the last years.
Plus, you're making a significant impact in the tourism dollars of the city.
I would hope so. Anyways, bringing in like people from all over Saskatchewan / Canada, hopefully to stay in the hotels, eat in the restaurants. Bring in some money.
Okay,
some
now
revenues.
Talking about eating, tell me, how has the grilled cheese morphed since?
Morphed?
Yes, or has it?
The standard grilled cheese is pretty similar, like the little bit of garlic powder and the margarine and all that's kind of been standard. But every year we'll do a specialty sandwich. Like last year we did it's kind of like a dessert thing. It was a raisin bread with cinnamon and mozzarella. So it was like a little bit of a sweeter style, and then the year prior we had the legendary, which was actually 2 burgers with grilled cheese sandwiches for buns on either side of the 2 burgers. So that was for the hardcore people.
Hard attack on the plate.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you got to come up with some. You got to kind of see if you can come up with some kind of a hybrid
hybrid.
blue loaf of bread,
Yeah.
kind of to harken back to,
Yeah,
to
to-
Quetzalcoatl, to some kind of a blue thing. Or
can see it.
get really trendy. Oh, here's this idea for free. I give it to you. Wrap it in bacon and deep fry it. 'Cause
Oh, everybody loves
doing-
bacon and deep fried. You know?
Everybody's doing the bacon wrap deep fried. And tell me that this all still is not on your mother's shoulders.
No.
to make
Of course
it.
not. No.
So what do you have? Like a whole food vendor thing happening now?
Yeah, it's all volunteers. Like, we do all of it, but
Right.
like we rent our barbecues. It'll be like 2 long, maybe 6-foot, grills, and then all of our volunteers run it, and we buy all of our food local and stuff to support.
Well, there you go. So again, you're supporting local.
Absolutely.
right?
Well, and we try to do that with basically everything. Like to be completely honest, we could go to Costco and probably get it for cheaper.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, why would you do that?
And there's no
You're trying
Costco
to-
in Kindersley.
Well, that's true. So we'd have to bring it from Saskatoon, and it
Right.
just seems like such a. We're all from Kindersley. We all live in Saskatoon, but if there's nobody, like all of these events, like bring in,
Yeah.
hopefully revenues for all the local businesses that maybe they wouldn't have, like without a big event like this to put in large orders. And stuff.
How
So,
many grilled cheeses do you estimate you're going through in a festival?
like last year, I think we did 1,600 or so.
Wow.
1,600 sandwiches. So that was like 12 pounds of margin, kind of thing. It came in 2 tubs, kind of thing.
Wow, no kidding. And people just the grilled cheese is available on the grounds of the festival. And so people just go up and
Well, yeah, and it's only a toonie. It's only a toonie for a grilled cheese
right,
sandwich, so
right.
really, really quite cheap actually. So people come up to the vendor and give them a toonie. We give them a grilled cheese sandwich. It's pretty
and
simple.
it's just grilled cheese. There's nothing else happening. No side fries or
no fries, but we normally do like burgers and smokies and stuff
Okay,
just to give
right.
because sometimes people can't eat grilled cheese for breakfast, lunch, and supper. They just
Yeah,
can't do it.
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah, because the festival, it's 2 days, but it starts at what time?
On Friday, it's the first band goes on at 6 p.m.
Right.
So that's just kind of like a supper thing, I guess. And then on Friday, it starts at noon. The music starts at noon.
Right.
So then, we imagine people start showing up maybe late morning, early afternoon. And then, so maybe they'll do, a lunchtime, a couple sandwiches, and then maybe a couple throughout the day. So,
Right.
so we'll have it open for all the performances.
And are you subject to city bylaws as far as how late you can stay open, or does this go all night?
No, definitely a subject to bylaws and things. Like normally, the bylaw is the quiet time is at 11 p.m.
Right.
And since we have special events permit and talk to the town and all of the residents, like we do a big sweep around all of the residents, like within earshot of the festival, and we say, hey, we're going until 1 a.m. or 12:30 or whatever it is.
Right.
And just explain to them, show them the dates, make sure that everyone is happy. And we give them like a contact info and stuff, like my email or phone number. And I literally give them my email or phone number. So if they need to call me or something and say a concern, say, hey, I'm this person, then I'm totally open to that. Because we don't want to make anybody angry,
Yeah.
We want them, if they are cool with the event, we want them to come and enjoy some music and some culture and stuff. But if they are not okay with the event, and we want them to be able to coordinate and maybe make plans to go away for the weekend, or anything, just to make everyone happy. So,
But really, is there an after-hours party that goes back to the backyard?
that would be nice. I don't know. It's not my backyard.
But still the same house?
What, my parents' house?
Yeah?
No, I'm not. I live here in Saskatoon, but
But
I'm
is
not
that-
making a party there. No.
No, but the house that you grew up in is still there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, so the backyard where this all began is
it's
still there.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
Right. So tell me, seriously, on a personal level, even though I know that this is a ton of work for you, and I'm sure at the end of this year you'll also say to yourself, that's it. But you'll continue, and there will be a 6. But it must feel really gratifying to sit back and kind of, while you're stage managing, to go, wow.
Yeah, look at everything. No, absolutely. It's I really like it just because it brings so many people together that wouldn't, and lots of people who I grew up with who maybe weren't the cool kids or whatever in high school were we're all musicians of sorts or artists, and we didn't really have a platform to express ourselves in a public manner, and now being able to give a platform to all of like this next generation of bands and musicians in Kindersley feels really cool because, like I said, they've never even had a chance to play on a stage before, and then we give them a festival stage with, you know, hundreds of friends and family to watch them and cheer them on, even if it's good or bad or anything. People, they're friends, you know.
Yeah.
It's not.
But you must. Some of these bands must be forming in schools and in the area, so you must have inspired those kids.
Oh, I would hope so. Yeah, for sure.
And also picking up the heavy metal torch, or are they kind of
A little bit.
doing mixed genre?
Sometimes, yeah. Like we have a one band playing called To This Day, and they have some metal influences for sure. And they're, you know, a couple. Jack Paulson, he's a little cousin of our bassist Evan, you know, and he's been playing guitar for almost 6 years now, and he's just in high school, and he's a great little guitarist, and he's coming out of Kindersley as well. And it's just cool to see all of these little guys who used to be very, very young when we were 16, and now they're 16, 17, and they're way better musicians than we were when we were that young, you know. So
right.
so it's really cool to see people come up and just like we've also seen, like, if you give somebody an opportunity in, let's say, 6 months, if you say, hey, we're going to book you for the show, you have 6 months to prepare a 40-minute set. Like, 6 months is a long time for a band if they actually have something to look forward to, you know, to actually get their stuff together and put a set together and practice. But like, one thing I found with the musicians is, you know, they'll spend as much time as they possibly can preparing. You know, if you give them 6 months, they'll take 5 months and 29 days to prepare, you know.
Right,
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah,
so
the nature of the artist.
Yeah, the nature of the artist. So, but it's really nice to give these people something to work towards, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
How important was it for you when you were growing up to find like-minded members to kind of jam with and start forming a band? Because I would think that that's one of the challenges of growing up in a small town, is kind of getting a group of people together who want to play the same kind of music. Well, I guess the question is, for somebody listening who is a lone wolf in their small town, who's really into heavy metal, who's picked up the guitar, is kind of touring around, and thinks, yeah, but the problem is there's nobody else around here doing this.
Go on the internet.
What do you do?
You know, go on the internet. There's, you know, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, anything. Get a microphone, record your stuff, anything. Just like, you need to keep practicing your craft and record it. Like, if you write something, record it, even if it's on your phone, and put it on SoundCloud. And if people like it, they'll talk about it, and if they don't like it, you'll hear about it too. But that, if it's all for yourself, it doesn't matter. You know, just find people that are, you know, interested in the same things that you are, or else you will not pursue your craft for very long. You know, like you can do it all yourself, but you'll feel way better doing it with other human beings. You know, it's just how we are. You know,
and for
social.
people who want to start a festival,
don't do it.
Well,
don't do it. No, I'm
truth.
just kidding.
But if you have to, if you must, because you really want to create something in your town, but you really also want to have that artistic outlet, it seems to me that the success of Grilledcheesapolooza has been because you didn't set out to have it be a success. It was in your mind a one-off. So you kind of didn't have this long-range business plan up front.
No.
So
No, not at all.
You didn't set yourself up for disappointment. It just kind of was what it was. No expectations.
Well, yeah, and when we showed up, you know, on the day of, you know, we would make a Facebook event or whatever, maybe make some posters and put them up, and we had no idea how many people would come, if it would be 10 or 100 or whoever. But for the first a few years, just after we got there and we set up all of our gear and just kind of sat there and waited for people to come, and then people would come and we talked to our friends stuff, and everything just kind of falls into place. So I think if I had one piece of advice to give to anybody who wanted to start a festival, is just make sure that you love it, and you know, you probably will have some disappointments. It's just a series of compromises the whole time, and you just got to hope that those compromises maybe don't crush you, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Your day must be just insane with emails and putting out fires.
Sometimes, definitely sometimes, just with working full time and then doing the coordinating things is almost a full time job in itself. But I do have to say, it's not just me. I have a committee of 6 that are you know, they're the backbone and of this whole thing. Like us 6, it's myself, Justin Thompson is a director, Logan McManus, Avery Vold and Lindsay Vold and Jordan Kleimenhege, and all of us are, open to everything, and we all make all of our decisions.
Right.
And yeah, like without those people, this wouldn't happen every year kind of thing.
You kind of have to do this, huh? I mean, you never thought to yourself, I think I'll just go get a 9-to-5 office job. I mean, you got to live in this environment.
No, I love the shows. I love, like, it's long hours, it's hard work, and sometimes you only get to mix a band for an hour, and then you take it all down and drive 6 hours back home, and you're away from maybe your girlfriend or your family or whatever for days on end, and bad like work environments. But at the end of the day, when it's like the last song and the last band, and you think to yourself, wow, I wish there was more bands playing. Like you get that little bit of magic in the live sound, like live music, performance arts and stuff. It's just, there's just a little magic there. And as long as you can grab hold of that and not forget why you're there. And because we all love music, right? That's why we're all into this. And if you lose sight of that, you become bitter and jaded. And I don't want to be like that.
Right. Let's do a little shameless promotion for the town of Kindersley, since you grew up there.
Absolutely.
When in town for Grilledcheesapolooza, what's one other place you got to check out in Kindersley?
One other place other than the music festival? For just like a recreation?
Whatever, for recreation.
Just things to do?
Good eats.
Good eats.
When you need a break from grilled cheese. Some landmark that you got to see.
The Red Lion is, they have great Chinese food. They got a couple pool tables, a little bar there, and they have some performance there. Sometimes you got a nice bowling alley that people go play go bowling and so on. For sure. Yeah, we'd go to the bowling alley and bowl and have some beers and stuff in high school and so on.
There are a lot of young kids that kind of really have too much time on their hands that find themselves getting into rather nefarious activities from time to time. Do you really think that this creative outlet for you growing up was really such a great focus to kind of
because I was one of those kids for sure.
Really?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, without
you were programmed to go down the wrong path.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like after going back to the high school, there's lots of negative influences. Maybe not I heard a good quote one time. It was like, "You are the." Basically, to sum it up, it's just the environment you are in definitely changes your personality. If you're in a negative environment, obviously you're gonna be a negative person after a while. So
right.
Right.
Wow, that's great. So this really has
just to take your mind off things and work towards something positive, really.
Right.
And with like other people, with other like-minded people. Like just by yourself, it's too much and you won't enjoy it. It's really nice to just be around other people who are interested in what you're interested in. Right. And if that's music, or if that's creating a festival, or if that's whatever.
Do you have any other artistic outlets other than music, or is this pretty much your bag?
No, I like, pretty much music, just at this point in time. Like, I like the production aspect. I like doing, I went to school for audio engineering, so I do, like, the studio stuff and live sound and all of this. But I think that's really the cream of the crop for me. I just really like booking and being involved, even if I'm not playing in the band. Like I don't really care about the whole performance for myself anymore. But I like being a part of it though. Like I like helping other people, kind of create their show. So when they show up and everything's set up, they're just like, wow, I actually get to focus on just playing guitar today or whatever. And then they have me or someone like me to thank, and it's just like, yeah, it's my job, no problem. It's not a big deal.
If the god Quetzalcoatl came down and snatched up all the heavy metal music on the planet and there was no more to listen to, what other genre of music would you find yourself listening to? Like, give me the biggest contrast. I want to hear
the biggest contrast.
Yeah, like I love to sit down and listen to Bach.
Bach, well, man, I do though. I like a metal for me was really big in high school, and after I got out of high school and went to a recording school and things, it really opened my eyes to all of the genres out there, because really anybody who says that I'm not going to work with this band because they're a country band or something is really like, you can't close yourself off that much, because they're all musicians. We all have the same goals in mind. And but for me to pick one other One other genre, I like, obviously, who doesn't love like rock and roll? You know, Zeppelin or Floyd or any of that. Love all the classics. Big progressive rock guy. You know, like Tool or King Crimson, or Floyd again. Or even, you know, like I have a pretty good like vinyl collection, and got some Fleetwood Mac from my mom that I listen to all the time, or Van Morrison.
Yeah,
or,
vinyl is like totally back,
totally
right?
came back. Yeah.
Do you think it's because people just are over the perfection of the digital sound now, and they want that crackling vinyl?
I don't know. I also think it's the artwork. You know, it's oh, for sure. Like you will not catch me dead buying a $20 CD. Like I will not. I literally won't put $20 down and buy a CD, because I can go on iTunes and buy it for $12 for the digital, or I can pay $22 and buy the LP, which is, you know, the big fold out, and it's got the big artwork. It has all the liner notes, and and maybe you'll get a poster with it. And if you do that and you buy that, you might even get, you know, a digital download with your vinyl, and you get so then you get to download the album online anyways. So
that's so funny. I mean, there are people out there listening from my generation that are going, "That's what we grew up with." My God, exactly. That's cool now.
Oh man, but vinyl, it sounds good. Like, how can you say that it doesn't sound good? It sounds. I know, I love it.
And there must be an art to recording it.
To vinyl. Oh yeah, mastering for vinyl, totally different. Yeah, like you can't just toss a mix on vinyl. You definitely have to take some steps to make sure it's going to sound right.
So are there bands that show up at Grilled Cheese that are now pushing their vinyl recordings, or finding CDs still?
Well, there's one band, the Shooting Guns. They're from here in Saskatoon, and they are notorious for putting out 45s. They put out
no kidding.
They put out singles on 45s like maybe once or twice a year, and they're really one of those bands that's like they really like the collectibles. Like maybe they'll only put out 20 or 30 prints of a certain thing with a certain song with certain artwork, and maybe it'll be a colored vinyl, it'll be a green one or something, and then you know, in a few months you'll never be able to find that again. Yeah. And they've done that numerous times, and all of their full-length albums have been on, you know, on LPs, and as well as CDs or cassettes or whatever. Like even cassettes have kind of made, they're not like, cassettes are a little, I'm not a huge fan of cassettes, but people have been printing on them again for some reason.
No, you're not going to tell me 8-track is coming back.
No, I hope not. I was never an 8-track person, but because I'm too young for that. But,
yeah, no kidding. You know. Have you ever held a 78 in your hands?
No.
Oh man, I should have brought you over a 78.
I don't even know what that is.
Really, a 78?
What is it?
It's a vinyl. It's an album.
Okay.
It's between a 45 and the standard. Is a 33 and a 33.
I do believe
33 for the regular standard album. A 78. Got a ton. Got huge collections of 78s at
really
home. And they're thick like a platter.
Yeah, the 180 gram or whatever it is.
You can toss them like a plate across the room, like a piece of Corel livingware.
Cool.
Oh yeah, and you needed
excellent.
You needed to have. I think they may have had the standard small hole in the center like the LP. I'm trying to visualize that in my mind, because the 45 had the bigger hole.
Yeah, and then you had to drop the little yellow.
Exactly. Still. Yeah. Or have they gone to a small?
I don't know what the Shooting Guns does. I think it all depends where you have them printed. I think, because you probably do both. Like at people's houses, I still see the little 45 hole fillers. I don't know what they're called exactly, but I'll still see them like sitting around. So
well, they used to build them into the turntable, so you just pull it up and turn it slightly, and it would lock into a lock position, and then drop your album down. And there was always a dial beside there that you'd switch from 33 to 45 to 78 for the speed. Yeah, same needle. Yeah, no, it's a 78. Oh man, I got to.
That's cool.
I'll bring a 78 with me to Kindersley. So you
sure, I'll check it out. Be like, hey, I held a 78.
Yeah, I'll have to get a U-Haul to bring it behind me. It's that heavy. It's that heavy. So speaking of being out there, that's the deal. This is sort of part one of Grilledcheesapolooza podcast, and then I will be on site, and you'll be hooking me up with some of the local bands. So
I will, and get some interviews going, or some, and maybe we'll interview you even. We'll see. Hey, you're from Nova Scotia. What do you know about?
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, we can turn the tables. There we go. That'll be a long podcast in and of itself. You don't want to get this now talking about myself. Yeah. So at this point, then, what I'm going to do is that outside I have my handy dandy time machine. I'm going to invite you to hop in there, and we're going to instantly be transported through time. And the next time we tune into this recording, we're going to be in festival mode.
It'll be about, 15 days?
It's a 15 days from now?
About 15 or 16 days, yeah. Because it's, the 31st today? Yeah, so 15 days, and we'll be there.
Great. Let's soar through time.
Yeah, and should we go right now?
Yeah, let's take off.
Okay, let's go.
And there, we did it. We're on the other side. Was that not amazing?
Man, no, what just happened?
I know, it's the best time machine ever.
I hear music. Is that coming from Grilledcheesapolooza in Kindersley?
We are on site now. This is it, Kellen.
I think
Look.
it's happening. Look,
it's your magic.
The skies are clearing, the clouds parted, and there's local bands on the stage.
Are you happy with this?
I'm extremely happy. I'm just proud that everybody showed up and everything's going according to plan. So
it's extremely impressive what you're doing.
Thanks, Kevin.
My name is Jeremy Vogel, and I'm here at Grilledcheesapolooza. Grilledcheesapolooza, I've been here for 5 years straight. This is the fifth year. I'm not one of the founders. However, I am one of the most passionate people here.
Why?
Justin, I'm one of the most passionate people here because I love music, I love Saskatchewan, and I need seeing these local people. What people don't...
Wait a minute, do you live here?
I grew up here. I don't live here.
That's okay.
I grew up here. I love Saskatchewan because what other culture, what other scenario can welcome a number of bands into their baseball fields? Just come to my baseball field. Just come have fun. Let's eat grilled cheeses. No other province is doing this, right?
You need to ask me more questions. I want to be on your podcast so bad.
How many grilled cheese Palooza festivals have you been at?
This is the 5th year for the Grilledcheesapolooza Music Festival.
So you remember when it was in his backyard?
Actually, I grew up in his backyard. When I say grew up, I meant, yeah, sure, I seen it in the backyard.
Okay. All right, so this was like the thing to be involved in, and you weren't considered like nerds and geeks for being involved in it?
When we grew up, there was a certain group of people who were musically involved. Yeah. And we weren't necessarily like close friends, but we knew like, so you like music, we like music, and that's what we got along on. Right. We saw that honestly the best way to put it is music brought us together. It really is. It's music brought us together. We were never close friends, but still I see Kellen to this day and I grab his hand and I shake it, and we've always got along. But music brings you close together.
started in our backyard.
Wait a minute, are you Kellen's mom?
Yeah.
Oh! Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, you're the famous mom. I've already done the first half of the podcast with Kellen in Saskatoon.
Oh, okay.
So you're the person I actually wanted to meet because I said to my mom, so his mother starts just doing grilled cheeses, and now 5 years later, and I said, don't tell me you're still sticking your mom with doing all the grilled cheeses herself. Not.
Well, I don't know. Did you speak to Justin
No,
Thompson?
I just walked over.
Oh, okay. So Justin is one of the founders, and this is his mom as well in the white slacks.
Okay.
And I think this is her first year as a full-fledged volunteer. I think she's been a background person for quite a long time. But it started in our backyard, and first year was just Kellen's band because they needed. They had a gig in Saskatoon, and they hadn't had any public experience. They had been jamming in a buddy's basement, so we had an area that we said, well, what if you guys set up here and had some friends over and get the nerves out before your gig? Okay. Seemed to be a hit with the friends. I think there was about 45, 50 kids that came that first year. Somehow they came up with this name, Grilledcheesapolooza.
Well, based on your grilled cheeses, likely. Or which came first?
The name came first.
Oh.
And then the sandwiches, it was like, okay, well, we'll just make grilled cheese sandwiches. And people weren't really receptive to the idea at first. They really weren't getting what it was about because we didn't know it was ever going to turn into a thing.
Yeah. Good thing they didn't call it something like Peking duck with a side orange sauce and steamed asparagus festival, because then you'd have had to really work hard.
I would have really been out of my element for sure.
Right.
Second year, I think close to 300 kids came, not all at once, but I mean, some came and left and they had other commitments and whatever.
Yeah, but at what point did you go, okay, look, if you think I'm making grilled cheeses for 300 kids?
Well, actually, we didn't even have to say it because we thought, okay, this is it. Like, come on. Second year, it was Kellen's band and two other bands that were, pretty decent. Okay. And so Daryl was always game for as many kids come and as much as we want. He was quite happy to accommodate.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, all these kids are killing our grass. And
yeah, right.
Anyway.
Is Daryl your husband?
Pardon me?
Is Daryl?
Yeah, Daryl's Papa Cheese.
Ah, Papa Cheese. All hail the Papa Cheese.
Exactly.
Right.
So at the end of the night, we didn't even have to say no more grilled cheese. Kellen said, next year, he said, we're not doing it here. Like, he already thought we had outgrown the backyard. And so 2 years at the park, and this is a larger venue this year. So, this is number 5.
And I gather all these ingredients are local. Kellen said you got the bread located?
Yeah, actually, it's donated from closest.
Did you know this is your mom?
They're going to stay open for us if you go right now to pick it up.
Can do.
Okay, I'm going to send Kim with you to help you.
Love that.
What do you What do you have to get?
More supplies.
You're going to go get paper plates and more burgers, I do believe.
Paper plates and burgers. Yeah. The Legendary is sort of our own thing, and that seems to be a real hit.
Right on. I'll
with
let
guys
you go
and girls.
get the stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you. Papa Cheese, Kevin Power with Sask Culture. I just need 2 seconds. How many grilled cheeses have you flipped so far? Are you keeping count?
You are
More than 1,000.
More than 1,000.
Yeah.
And you're the dad.
I'm the dad. Yeah.
How proud are you of your son?
Oh, it's awesome.
If this 16-year-old kid starts in the backyard, and look at this.
Look at this, yeah. And he has some friends that are helping him. There's 5 in the group, but it's awesome.
I know. I mean, when you think of all the trouble kids get into, look what you've created. It's fantastic.
I think it's his mother's fault.
Well, to you I say, all hail the cheese.
do just what I want. Looking ahead, no turning back. If I fall, if I die, know I lived it to the fullest. If I fall, if I die, know I lived it missing fullest. I'm all up pursuit.
This is Michaela.
Happiness, and I know everything that shines ain't always gonna be gold. I'll be mine once I get it. I'll be good. Tell me what you know about dreaming. Tell me what you know about nothing. Tell me what you know about the night terrors every night. 5 a.m.
I'm with Michaela Anderson. All hail the cheese.
All hail the cheese.
So, Michaela, I got a chance to hear you perform last night and recorded a little bit. Here's what I noted. Actually, even before I came here, I listened to some of your stuff on YouTube. Are you writing your own lyrics?
Yeah, I write all of my own music with Soft Cotton. That's all my own original stuff. And then I brought in my friend Roger and another guy named Spenny, and I just let them do their own groove, and I show them what I've come up with, and then we just kind of all jive together and make it work.
But your lyrics are really well written. I mean, they're really quite profound. Where does that come from?
Life experiences and
already?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been through my fair share in my young years, is more than I'd like to say. And you know, you just really you take those things and you have to learn how to channel that energy into something positive, so you don't let it fester in yourself. So I found with music, I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now, with writing my own stuff and performing it, and like honestly, like I'm still at the point where I'm nervous to go on stage because of what I say in my songs. It's such a piece of me that to just lay that out on the line and to maybe have like, and I know I shouldn't think of it this way, but to maybe have someone be like, whatever you're saying is stupid. It's like, oh, well, like, because that would like crush me, but
yeah, honestly, but you know, like that's one of the biggest fears all creative people have.
But that's what drives me to do it even more.
Yeah, sure.
So it's, I don't know, and it's out of that fear that I just push myself to be better and better and better and better every year.
Good. There will always be somebody saying that's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean,
you need those people though.
You do, absolutely you do. You know, I think sometimes we forget the fact that stupid is a reaction that is worthy of soliciting. I mean,
that's very true. That's so true.
Yeah, I mean, if it's likely that somebody's challenged by what it is that you've written, and that's why they think it's stupid, because they don't want to confront it in themselves.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it too. And like I said, like I do it for me mostly, and if doing it for me has the ability to connect with someone else, then I know I'm doing it right.
So let's back up. Did you grow up in Kindersley?
I grew up in Saskatoon until I was about 10, and then I did my all of my high school and part of my elementary here, and then now I'm back there in Saskatoon going to university.
Oh, right, at U of S.
Yes, you bet.
What are you studying?
Kinesiology.
Are you really?
Yes.
So why have you chosen kinesiology over music?
I didn't ever want music to feel, because I've never had any classic training. I just do what I do, right? Okay. And I just do what sounds good. And I never wanted it to feel like a chore. Uh-huh. I never wanted it to be that way. And with Kin, like I've worked in a gym for 3 years. My mom's a personal trainer. It's all like, and she managed curves for 5 years when I was a kid, and like just seeing that and like also being the first person in my family to go to university.
Are you?
Yeah. So, and to actually do it and want to do it, it was something very practical that I already had a lot of background knowledge. So I was like, hey, I could do this, and music is my side project. And however, if music one day for me took off, I'd leave school. Uh-huh. I would.
Did you was there music in school when you were going to school here in Kindersley?
There was band, and I played the trumpet, actually. Uh-huh. And that was my favorite thing. And just my family is very musical. Like my brother, my Guido, my mom always sang when we were kids. And I always wanted to be in a band. And everyone always told me, oh, you're never going to do that. You're never going to do that. And I was like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong.
I tell you, it's the very, 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 very best thing in life when somebody tells you can't do anything.
Oh, I love it.
Like life would suck if people just continually said, do it. You're doing well. I love everything you do. Like that would be really dull.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, growing up, that's why it took me forever to choose what I wanted to do in school. And everyone always said, "You're so good at everything. You're so good at everything." I just wanted someone say, "You suck at one thing, just one thing," you know. And finally, they did. They said, "You can't do it," and well, I'm doing it. So.
You're doing it, and you're doing it really well. It's quite impressive what you do on stage. Tell me who you listen to for inspiration.
Well, it started out with Emily Haynes and the Soft Skeleton, so metric, but her solo stuff really would just get me. And I would always listen to it. So Emily Haynes and Dallas Green, those were the foundations when I first started playing music. And then I started really getting into Neil Young and Tom Petty and that sound, and I've just always loved it. And I love Neil, and I love that he's Canadian, and Tom Petty just is amazing in himself and the things that he writes about, and the fact that so many of his songs just came from nothing and jamming, and they were like American Girl, like that was just jamming and screwing around, and I love that, and I love to find different feels. So I have Emily Haynes, where she does what I do. She lays her whole heart and soul out on the line, and then you have people like Tom Petty and Neil Young, where they'll never play that same song the same twice.
Right.
And I get a lot of it from that, and just old soul kind of music.
Yeah. How much of the audience plays into your performance energy?
Quite a bit. I played at the Capitol on Tuesday, actually, and that's in Saskatoon.
Yeah.
And I had a waitress come up to me, and they said, a table of mine wants to know, like, and I didn't know who these people were, and like generally a couple of my friends show up, and my bass player said, friends aren't fans. And I'm like, they can be, yeah, of course, but it's the strangers that really let you know if you're doing it right. And the reason I know is because this waitress said, my table wants to know who you are and where they can find your stuff. And they just wanted to meet me, and I had like 4 other strangers just come up and be like, you are awesome. And I love ego strokes, but I'm so humble, and it's always just amazing to have that reinforcement that you're doing good from people you don't know.
But when you're up there on stage, are you taking in the audience reaction? Are you there? Are you there living in the moment of the music that you've written?
I am there living in the moment. I am, honestly, it looks like I'm staring at people. I am staring through people, because I am so concerned with what I'm projecting and how I'm projecting it and how I feel at the time. Like, honestly, when I'm up there, it is the best high. My hands go numb. I feel like I kind of go blind and I don't know what's going on, and then it's done, and then I just have this sudden rush. And when I just see the crowd like cheering, and I played at Amigos once too. And again, a stranger, she was in the crowd, and she lifted her arms up at me and was like, I love you. I was like taken aback by her, because you're like, in that moment, I was like, okay, I can do this.
But she's
like,
part of your performance as much.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And I love that, because
Yeah.
you can totally, you draw from that, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get that energy on stage when you feel it from your audience.
But you can't be nervous when you're on there, are you?
Oh, yes.
Really?
But in the best way possible.
Because you're just fearless when you're up there. I mean, you're just your entire body you give over to the performance.
Never used to be that way. I used to stand there with my guitar, petrified, doing a solo act. Petrified, like sitting on a chair, just playing, being like, hey, like, my name's Michaela.
Were you like a really shy kid?
No, not necessarily. It's just, it goes back to that when I first came out being like, I can do this. Like, I sing, I write my own music. It was just back to the point where, what if people don't like it? What if people make fun of me? What if, like, all those what ifs that you just have to push away and make it better your performance.
Right.
And I just kept doing that every year. And now I've got a stage presence.
You do.
Like,
you really do.
I love the audience.
And pipes. I mean, you're a belter.
I love it.
But in a good way. Like, I mean, it's still singing. It's just not obnoxious yelling. It's actually still singing.
Yeah, good to hear.
Yeah.
And like, I listened to old recordings from when I was a kid, and it'd be like me on my parents' computer with like the computer mic, singing Christina Aguilera, and God knows I was out of like not on key, like, but I kept doing it, kept just pushing it out. So,
I'm chuckling because old school into your parents' computer.
Yeah.
Old school for me was into an 8-track.
Oh yeah. No kidding, just such a generation difference, hey?
Yeah, no kidding.
And I hate the generation I was born in.
You hate the generation you were born in? Why?
I don't think I was supposed to be born in this time. Just
What time do you think you should have been born in?
Like the 60s era.
Oh.
Like if I were like growing up with my parents,
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. Because it was still before cell phones, it was still before this whole social media thing. When you wanted to see someone, you just went and saw them, right?
Uh-huh.
And I miss that even when I was a kid.
That's
Like-
interesting, because I'm often ragging on the current generation and the social disconnect because
And it's
of
so funny because we
technology.
all think we are so connected, but we've never been more we've never been less so. Sorry,
Yeah, no.
and it's crazy. So I really wish those things didn't exist, but unfortunately we can't live in the world now without them. But
Yeah. Oh, that's
unfortunately, yeah. So I just like with music, I just think it was way like more wholesome back then. People actually cared more. It wasn't like, oh, I'm listening for the beat, and what they think is a beat is this 4x4. That's it.
That would be fascinating to have somebody going through the 60s. Well, that would be me, but I was way too young to take that in. But to hear somebody of your generation think of that generation as being wholesome, because they were,
and they weren't wholesome. They were just more, I don't know, more carefree with what they did, in a sense that they still all did it together, you know? Like Woodstock. Like that was such a communal event, and like everyone just loved each other. And everyone just got together, and it was just this free-spirited thing, and now we're all so concerned, you know?
But here we are sitting at Grilledcheesapolooza, which is one of those,
Yeah.
those social interaction things, face to face. So
And it's like, and being from here, I know, like, I'm gonna say it anyway.
Yeah.
Being from here, we still always will see these divisions with different groups of people.
I was going to ask you about that. In school, was did your music set you aside as being the outcast?
It made me just kind of friends with everyone.
Oh, it
but
did?
it always made me feel like people always like knew me as Soft Cotton, and like I have friends who have me in their cell phones as Soft Cotton, and it just
This was your group then, and still is.
just any like all of my friends, you know. And it's sometimes like a lot of them and a lot of like people that just see me on the street and they're like, oh hey, Michaela, that I knew from high school that I'm not like particularly keen on. It's like they know this idea of me. They don't actually know who I am. So I think it's funny when they.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that the whole like growing up here and going to high school and stuff. But and the fact that they love it, and they're still a part of those people that said you can't do that.
Yeah, right.
It's like ha.
Doesn't it strike you as amazing that this 16-year-old kid started something in his backyard?
Yeah,
and
I
let
remember
us
the
in it?
first time he was talking about it. He was like, "This will be hilarious, right?" Like, and it was. And then here we are, 5 years later, and look at it. Like, it's huge. Like,
Yeah.
way bigger than the years before. And like, I'm blown away. Every year, I'm blown away even more. And I'll always enjoy being a part of it.
Right. Do you think you'd come back to a town this size, or after you're done your kid degree, do you think you'd
I would.
stay
I'd
in
like
big-
to return to rural Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
I want to go to UBC or U of Vic to do med school maybe, and finish like a physiotherapy master's, and then come back to rural Sask because I know the money's here. Unfortunately, I'm greedy like like a lot of other people in this world.
Nothing,
but-
no shame in making a living.
No, not at all.
Not everyone's called to be a starving artist.
Yeah, exactly.
And that'll always be there for you. I mean, there's no rule that says you can't have this music thing happening,
Exactly. And you know what? Whenever like I've ever missed an opportunity, like lost someone's phone number or something like that when it comes to music, my mom says, "That's okay, Michaela, because it just wasn't the right opportunity."
right? Uh-huh.
And I'm always going to take that with me because I can't look at things as lost. I have to just always look at them as continually being stumbled upon.
Your mom's really supportive?
Very much so. Like her and my dad, biggest fans. I'll guarantee that.
And when something great happens, don't you find they're the first people you want to call?
Yes, definitely. My mother, honestly, I tell her absolutely everything. And like I'm very close with my family, and they will always support me in anything I put my mind to. And some of my crazy antics, I sometimes wonder why they do, but they do. And I think that's why I'm still here, still doing this.
I grew up in a town that had no music culture whatsoever, and certainly no music programs. There's got to be other towns still today in this province
Definitely.
that have that. So some kids listening who is really, just in their wildest fantasies would love to do what you do, and there's nobody else around doing it. and there's no school music scene happening in their schools. What do you say to people like that who want to get to where you're at now?
You know, you do it. You always keep it with you. You try and like go online, like find someone who maybe has those same interests in your area that maybe you can depending on the age of the kid. Like I know, like growing up, I was like from Kindersley. I was in the school band, and all my friends wanted to smoke cigarettes and drink. You know, I didn't like sure I did those things too, but no one was really interested in playing music with me in my age group. And so I did it by myself. I said, screw you, I'm gonna do what I like to do. And you know, you can never let anything hold you back from the things that you want, because then you're always gonna find yourself wondering what if. So always work for it. Put yourself online, like on YouTube. Maybe ask your school if you can play a show. Just get involved with your and I was never involved really with my community in high school, so I hate that I'm saying that, but get involved with your community. Just get to know who those people are, show them who you are. And I didn't do that until after high school, and I really wish I would have done that more so, because I think it would have made it a more bearable experience for me instead of trying to just refute everything.
Yeah, right.
Because I was so like that, just I don't know, negative.
And if somebody wants to put something online and they have the same feelings that you had but what if somebody writes a comment saying, don't give up your day job, or that really sucks, to that you'd say?
Same thing I'd say now, and be like, the things you telling me I can't makes me want to show you I will. And like, it's the same thing, you just do it. You can't let people hold you back from the things that you know you're good at, and you have to always keep that head on your shoulders, and you have to have that mentality that's like, I'm good. You have to sit down at the end of the day and find out what you're worth and look inside and find out what's good inside. And then if music is your way of pushing that outward and kind of dealing with that, per se, all the power to you, because that's what I did.
It seems like it's been a real confidence booster for you, the whole music scene.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. It's like I said, like being on stage, it is, like I said, the biggest high that you could ever, as you probably know, it's like such a rush, right? Like people are like, I love you. And it's the ego strokes that really build your confidence. It's just the art of not letting your head get too big.
Yeah. So how do you keep that under control?
Constant modesty.
Modesty, but not self-deprecation.
Yes,
modesty.
Just being humble. When someone says, you're really awesome, I say, thank you. I think it was all right. You know?
Right. Well, I think the secret to creativity is to never get there.
No.
You know, I mean...
And like we were talking today, me and my band, and I was saying how I was nervous to go up there, and my friend Roger said, you know what? When that nervous feeling goes away, though, that's when it's time to quit. Because you lost the spark. Yeah. It's not there anymore, right? Yeah. And it's so true. So true.
No, absolutely. What's the most contrasting music you listen to that couldn't be furthest from what it is that you do?
I love Jurassic 5. Like, Charlie Tuna is the best rapper ever. And like Most Def, like I love Tribe Called Quest. So old style hip hop is my thing. I love it so much. Not what I play.
Right. No, it isn't. No, it's not.
Yeah. But I love it.
Right. Do you think you sound like anybody?
I've been told I sound like a lot like Florence and the Machine mixed with Adele, and I could see that. But I don't know. I've also been told that my music is such a genre of its own.
Right. But you're not striving to sound like anybody.
No.
Yeah, like you're not looking to be a mimic artist.
Nope, not at all. I want to be my own thing.
Right. I think you are.
I think so.
I think you're already doing that. You're your own. You're a rocker.
It's fun. Definitely, like honestly, this is my hands down favorite thing to do.
You're not boring, and you're very. You are very articulate.
I think that's the only way that I actually know how to talk about how I feel about things. If I don't draw on personal experiences, and if I don't, I am one of those people who will jump around the point a million times until I get there.
Yeah.
And if
Are you a Virgo?
I am.
Are you? So am I. My God, that's why.
Totally a Virgo.
September?
Yeah, September 16th.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, the curse of the Virgo.
Yeah.
Can't live with us, can't live with us.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah.
I've had like 3 different roommates in the past 2 years, and I like I was like, maybe it's me. It's like, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Maybe it's me, but the world would be a much better place if you just do things the way that I need you to do them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just don't get in my way because I am the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm always in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It never works in our favor,
Nope.
but yet.
And I always find that no matter what I do, something bad will happen. But in the end, it will work out. Always.
No matter what you do, something bad will happen. Is it just life programmed for that?
I think so, yes.
Without you even
Yep.
stopping it, it's going to happen?
Generally.
Really?
Yep.
You
My whole, like, all of my experiences have been like that. Like, even just, like, with the music festival today. It was pouring rain. We heard lightning. Oh, it's all going to be canceled. Stopped.
Right.
It's just one of those things that it's the yin and yang, right? Something always needs to balance out. So if things are too good, you always gotta be waiting. And if things are bad, you always gotta see the silver lining as well.
And when things are bad, do you see the silver lining at the moment, or are you totally stuck in bad mode? Like, with no way out?
For me, it depends on where I'm at in my stage of life. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm having a good day and if something bad's happening, I'll see the silver lining. I'll be like, you know what? It's just a little hiccup.
So you learn from your mistakes.
Yes. Sometimes I make them over and over again, depending on what kind of mistake it happens to be.
Right.
But
you really need to learn the lesson.
Yeah, and they wasn't it Albert Einstein who said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? Yes, insane.
Yeah. Wow, you've got all the trademarks of a good performer. You got the neurosis thing going on. You got the honesty thing going on. You got the insecurity thing going on. It's all there.
Yep. And for some reason, it still projects like I know what I'm doing. And I have come face to face with myself more than enough times. I grow from everything, right?
Yeah.
Can never stop that.
Don't stop it, eh?
Nope. Always grow.
Keep going.
Yep, it's like Dory. She's always in the back of my head. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, right? Yeah, no.
That's a great metaphor.
Definitely. Keep on keeping on, right?
Yeah, right on.
That's what we got to do.
Hope you have a good gig this afternoon.
Oh, I am so excited. I have been working on this for the past 6 months with these guys, and
that's so great.
Yeah, I am really pumped.
Go knock them out. Thanks, Michaela.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. The SaskScapes podcast is created by Kevin Power as part of the Culture Days Animateur program operated by Sask Culture. Funding to the cultural sector is provided through the Saskatchewan Lotteries Trust Fund for Sports, Culture and Recreation. If you want to hear more of these podcasts or to see the great work being done by other Sask Culture animateurs, please visit www.iheartculture.ca. Special thanks to Paved Arts in Saskatoon for their technical support. SaskScapes podcasts are also available through the iTunes Store. Music for SaskScapes is provided by Saskatchewan-born singer-songwriter Jeffrey Straker. There is no end to the stories to be told. So, until next time,